Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura Watson, and in this video I am showing you how I paint naked broom rape. Sounds like a pretty crazy name. It's actually a really interesting, beautiful parasitic wildflower. Naked broom rape is also known as Botanical uniflora. It also has another Latin name, which is Phyllon uniflora. It is often found on rocky slopes and bluffs near where its host plant will be growing. A common host plant is stonecrop or saxifrage, or as the name implies, broom. The stem and flower colors vary, and they are a range of violet, pink to pale white cream. I am always on the lookout for this plant, but I have to admit I've only ever found it once. It's not super common here where I live on Vancouver Island. In this class, we're going to get started after we ink our drawing with mixing up the colors, and there's some very interesting colors and unique recipes to learn when you're painting this beautiful parasitic wildflower. I also really love painting violet flowers personally, so I enjoy this type of project quite a bit. And you'll see how we're going to paint a few different angles of the flower and how we can really capitalize on using warm and cool colors and graded washes to really bring our painting to life. And in step 2, I often, with my ink and watercolor paintings, do step 2 with the ink, which is the contour lines and veins, but I also do add some watercolor over them, especially evident in this project, as you can see here, to really sort of harmonize the ink into the watercolor so it doesn't look too harsh. The stems of naked broom rape are interesting to paint. There's quite a few different recipes to mix up using earth tones and maroons, which can be really fun to learn how to adjust subtle tones of these colors. And they're not always the first colors to think about for flower stems, but they can also be used for a lot of other paintings like blossom branches and sort of wood or things like that that you do find in nature. And then at the end of the class, we will add all the little hairs with ink. When there are stems that have lots of little hairs on them, I like to add them at the very end just because sometimes you can add too much water over and even smudge waterproof ink a little bit. You can see on the throat of the flower there that I'm really building up the form with graded washes and how I place them. I love getting out into nature looking for plants to paint, and even if I don't find the one I'm looking for, I still feel like having that little walk before a creative session is valuable. In my full-length classes, I also talk about the different brush sizes I use, why I change brush sizes, and how you can use them to your advantage in all of your paintings. One of the other things we're going to learn, which I don't always cover in all of my lessons and paintings, is glazing and color correction. As you can see, we are painting 4 different stems of the naked broom rape, but because of the reference photo and the plant variation and the way they're positioned and light falling on them, all these different details makes them look different. So you can see the enlarged flower stem is much more maroon than the more straw brown colored stems of the smaller trio of flowers. So noticing these variations and then adding the layers of transparent color and glazing to get those subtleties is really something that will take your nature journaling and botanical art to the next level. We are also really going to focus on how those different tones of warm and cool violet and then the different concentrations of those tones can be adjusted so that you can use just a few colors to get so much variation and depth for these beautiful flower petals. I also wanted to take the time in this video to explain a little bit more about the crazy name naked broom rape. Now, it's not what I would pick to depict how this plant looks, but somebody did. And naked means the fact that it doesn't have any leaves because it is parasitic. Broom rape is actually sort of a whole family of plants, and that is because they are commonly found as parasitic to plants in the broom family, and so they are sucking out the nutrients of the root system of the host plant so that they don't need leaves to create nutrients from sunlight with green chlorophyll. And that is why they do not have green stems, they do not have any leaves, and they are found only next to or growing sort of right in the same cluster as very specific host plants. To finish off this painting, we are adding a beautiful but subtle background, and I'm just using Pure Moon Glow by Daniel Smith, and it's actually quite watered down, and I really liked how this worked out to just sort of pop the illustrations off the page, but not overpower them at the same time. I really enjoyed creating this painting, and when I first found this plant, it was very early on in my career as a botanical artist, and I was still in school, so it was really nice to revisit this and sort of do it justice. If you're interested in this style of painting, you can check out the full-length class on thewatercolorgarden.com.